here on First Things First. We're going viral. All right, check this out from the Saints Twitter account. Drew Brees throwing the ball between two receivers, bubble wrapped. Watch this, watch this.
That's amazing.
That is great.
I mean, no, the timing on that is, and the precision is, impossible. I wonder how many times
I was just going to say, how many attempts before he got it? Those poor guys are probably concussed at this point.
I'm being told he did it on the first try. I don't know if I can fully believe that. I don't know if we had men on the ground or women on the ground to verify, but that is amazing, man. I watched that.
It's hard to find someone throw the ball better than Drew Brees, though.
As precise of a thrower ever as we've had in this league. I mean, that was great. Like the timing of it, it was the timing and the location.
Now, one thing I would have enjoyed, I could do something like this. I would enjoy doing something like this, but I want that to be me and Nick in the things right there, and I just run through him and just boom, just knock him in the neck.
Wow. Tap.
Okay. All right. I'm being told we can do that? Okay. All right. No problem. Make sure you get that hammy fixed first, my man. Yeah,
Stories to start your morning. And we'll start with the biggest big ball in the Reds-Pirates game last night. Now, there's been a season-long simmering feud between these two teams. Boy, it boiled over big time last night. 5 players ultimately ejected, notably Yasiel Puig. All right, Nick, what'd you make of this?
All right, Amir Garrett, you don't want them problems with him.
Not at all.
Guy about 6'5" and a half, played basketball at St. John's. He ready to fight everybody.
I don't know who the person for the Pirates. He trying to grab his hand. He not trying to fight. He like somebody get this ball.
No, and he also knew bigger problems were on their way. Yasiel Puig, even though he had found out he was traded to the Indians about 40 minutes prior, he was still playing. I'm not sure why. And then fighting. I am sure why, because Yasiel Puig likes him some fighting. So this was great. This was a great farewell for Puig. He's angry. These two teams don't like each other. The Reds manager had already been thrown out. He came out, tried to give Clint Hurdle some problems. Clint Hurdle's 71 years old. He's like, hey, man, that's senior citizen abuse. Can't do that. This was a good old-fashioned melee.
There's nobody in the stands, but still, we're enjoying it.
But there was 1 out left in the game. It's 11-3, 2 outs in the ninth. They say, you know what? We getting it in now. I like that.
All right, moving on. Ezekiel Elliott is now entering day 6 of his holdout. Dak Prescott and Amari Cooper are looking for new deals as well. Stephen Jones said, boy, they got to understand there's a real salary cap. Steve, what's your reaction to these comments?
It's the harsh reality. NFL, yes, it's a hard cap. If you start spending all this money, when you start at the end, the slice of the pie, are these guys going to be happy? No, they run out of money. We knew that before free agency started. Dak must be signed. Ezekiel Elliott doesn't have to be signed. Amari Cooper doesn't have to be signed. They got big problems, and I think Stephen Jones is starting to fess up to the reality, to the fans. Ezekiel Elliott could be out a long time.
This is just a really bad beat for the Cowboys because there's no way they could have anticipated the league in the last 90 days totally changing how the salary cap... Wait, what's that? Hold on. Oh, it's always been this way? Oh, it's been, the whole time they've been talking about paying guys? The cap's been the same rules on the hard cap. There's no... He's right. I don't know why they're just now realizing this is how the NFL works. They know it. They did not expect Zeke to force their hand. They were ready to pay Dak. They evidently had some intel that Amari was going to be patient, so they had it all planned out. Zeke was the straw that stirs their drink. Now he's screwed up their drink for the year because they didn't plan for him.
Straws are out of style too, man.
Absolutely.
Killing too much sea life, man.
Correct.
Give up the straws, people, if you're out there.
Confirmed.
Or do the paper ones that disintegrate in a second and a half. Dolphins now. New head coach Brian Flores says it is pretty clear to him that Ryan Fitzpatrick is leading in the battle for starting quarterback down there in Miami. Fitzmagic is battling with Josh Rosen, who Miami traded for back in April. All right, Steve, what do you make of this?
All the times, I've been a high school coach for a long time, last 2 years, having coached high school football, and all my kids, they come to me and be like, Coach, I want to transfer. And I'm like, okay. Most of them are big-time Division I programs. I say, is that guy a pro? Is he going to be playing in the NFL? Because if he is, you might think about transferring. But if he's not, you need to stay there and beat him out. When you look at Ryan Fitzpatrick, if this guy beats me out, I'm going to kill myself. All right? That's what I'm going to do. That's what I would have told my kids. If you get beat out by a chubby, unathletic quarterback, Ivy League education. Oh, man, kill yourself.
Okay.
Like, just as bad
Maybe
for Josh
just
Rosen.
retire would be the better advice. However, I don't listen.
The bosses just told me I can say that.
Okay, all right, good. Glad to know. Listen, Rosen is the more talented of the quarterbacks.
How do you know that?
Because I've seen them both play. I saw Rosen play at UCLA. I know he's more talented than what Fitzpatrick is right now.
Okay.
And I also know that Fitzpatrick can look good for a stretch of time and then will kill you. That now, last year, Arizona had the worst offensive line in football. Pro Football Focus, your friends say Miami is the worst offensive line in football. Maybe Flores trying to figure out that offensive line before Rosen gets killed early in the year. I don't know. But Rosen should be the starter.
Let's not talk about anybody dying. Let us talk about, though, the Falcons. They missed the playoffs.
You talk about him. He got some big ears. He'll hear you already.
Last year, after suffering a ton of injuries, their defense quarterback Matt Ryan, at age 34, considered an elder statesman by NFL standards. Well, he's well aware that this team can no longer take seasons for granted. Matty Ice talked about this with Adam Shine on SiriusXM's Mad Dog Sports Radio.
You can feel it just in the way that everybody's approaching practice or weightlifting sessions or, in the meeting rooms. There's definitely a sense of urgency. There's a really good vibe in the building right now. It's fun to be a part of it. This time of the year, everybody's optimistic. I've been around a long time, and this team, feels like we could be special.
Are you one of those people? Do you feel like this team can be special, or you think people are sleeping on the Falcons?
Well, I don't think people are sleeping on them. I think they have a number of questions that aren't answered right now. So, no, their offense is very, very talented. They have been the last several years. I believe that Matt Ryan is underrated as a quarterback. I believe he's one of the best throwers. The offense that they run, how they attack defenses, how they move the ball around. Calvin Ridley, their first-round draft pick last season out of Alabama, he comes out with a rookie campaign of 10 touchdowns. There's been only 4 other receivers that were able to do that. Randy Moss, OBJ, Michael Evans, amongst the 3 of the 4 who were able to do it. So offensive productivity, yes, it will be there. Matty Ice, will he throw for 4,500 yards or so? Probably so. Julio Jones, 1,500 yards? Yes. What will they get from the running game? We know that last year Devontae Freeman hurt. Out, it really hurt their productivity. His backup, Tevin Coleman, has gone on to San Francisco, so they don't have the depth. They need a running attack to be able to protect that offensive line. And their special teams, which they have a new special teams coordinator. Their defense coordinator is brand new. How will they be? Those things I can't answer right now. So, no, I think they're right where they should be. I believe Carolina will be much improved. I believe their defense will be a top 10, potentially a top 5 defense. And you have the Saints in that division. I know Jameis Winston will get better with Bruce Arians. So in that division, man, you have tough opposition. It's been that way for a long time. I think that they're right there where they should be. They got an explosive offense, which we know about, question marks about the rest of that roster.
And also, I think, legitimate question marks about how mentally tough, how much football devastation can a team withstand and come back the next year stronger. We saw them lose a Super Bowl in the most devastating way possible. You're up 28-3. That thing is a wrap. And every single thing that had to go wrong went wrong for them not to win the Super Bowl. So flash forward to a year later. They are in a great position. Yeah, they're on the road in the divisional round, but on the road in the divisional round against a team who's on a backup quarterback. A backup quarterback in Nick Foles who hadn't played well at all. He hadn't gone on that magical run yet. They got 1st and goal from the 9-yard line down less than a touchdown to after the Super Bowl devastation. No Super Bowl hangover here. We're going to be back in the conference championship game against Case Keenum. And they can't punch it in. And then the following year, they begin. So last year, the hangover, you want to say it continues. They lose in week 1 the exact way they lost the end of the previous season. Down less than a touchdown. 1st and goal inside the 10. Can't punch it in. Lose 2 weeks later in overtime when they never touched the ball to their hated rival Saints. And then let Andy Dalton throw a game-winning touchdown pass with 10 seconds left to beat you. Now you're 1-4. Your season's over. You're not coming back from 1-4. Can you climb that mountain again? Can you know how hard it is to get back to the top. You know how well you can play, how good the offense can be, and you're bad for a drive, a series, and it's all for naught. Can you do it? Because they're not going to have, it would be shocking if they have as much bad injury luck as they did last year. Matt Ryan has shown he's going to play to this standard consistently. Calvin Ridley showed he was worth that first-round pick. To Chris's point, we know how good Julio is. Can the defense be league average, and can they sustain the ebbs and flows of the season when last year it seemed to me like their season was over by October 1st?
All right, let's take a break there. Coming up, let's stay in the division. Will the Saints ever get over losing the NFC title game? That's next. This is First Things First.